Hello, welcome. I am Dr. Aerin, and I am with you for the next half hour. I am a medium, I'm a teacher, and a spirit release practitioner. I am brand new to A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck Television. So thank you for having me and listening or watching from wherever you are at. And thank you to A1R for allowing me this incredible opportunity. Really, I appreciate it. Since this program is live and it airs all over the world, no nerves or anything like that, I realize some of you may be getting up. You're going to bed. I even realize Australia might be having lunch right now. So whatever time of day it is for you, once again, I say welcome and thank you. First of all, it is 8 p.m. where I am. It is Los Angeles, California, in obviously the U.S., but I do have a lot of family and friends that are on the East Coast because that's where I'm actually originally from, the East Coast. So a lot of them have been texting me, congratulating me and saying, hey, what time are you going to be on? You know, send me a message. Thank you. Thank you to my family. Thank you to my friends. You have been a blessing on my spiritual journey. And I appreciate you, always sticking with me and just being my cheerleaders. I also want to thank my clients because my clients have been, they have been wonderful. And their families that I have given, I've given them readings and their families that have crossed over have come. And I mean, it's always amazing. It leaves me in tears. It really touches me in the soul, to my soul. And I would start crying, but it's really wonderful and I appreciate it. And then my followers, trust me, Facebook fans, especially you guys, I'm always on my Facebook page and I know who you are. I watch who hits like and everything. And I want you to know, I thank you for always, supporting me. And also to my husband and my kids. I've been married to my husband for 14 years now, and we actually have 6 kids. So now that I've said that, let me go and tell you that I am in Los Angeles. And, oh yeah, did I mention that I speak to the dead? If you didn't wonder, well, now you know. And obviously this is a psychic show. So if you didn't think, let me say this. I said I had 6 kids and I have a husband. Now, I also have 2 dogs, but I also have kids that have gifts as well as me. So imagine, if you will, that I'm a medium and that my kids have gifts, all 6 of them. Our house, it attracts all kinds of interesting beings. So trust me when I tell you, there is never a dull moment. When you walk into our house, it's kind of like you have now entered the Twilight Zone. I want to say that sometimes it feels like I should charge admittance. Yeah, it gets a little crazy. I mean, as a parent, sometimes you want time to yourself and you want to be left alone. Well, as a medium, you never get that time. You never get that time. It's like a circus. You want to just maybe go have a hot bath, but you got spirits following you, right? So, I mean, our boundaries are better in this house than they were years ago. But now here we are, you want a bath and you're sitting there going, wait a minute. If I don't have kids and I don't have dogs, I've got dead people. No. So anyway, I just want to say, that really, honestly, being a medium, all jokes aside, it is really wonderful to be able to provide messages of healing and love and just bringing that overall evidence of life after death as we know it. Because, well, we need to know that our loved ones are around us. And we need to know that just because they have crossed over doesn't necessarily mean that we've lost them, that they're changing clothes, right? Sometimes we hear that they're just changing clothes. They're just going through another door. And as a medium, we get to see that. We get that privilege. And it's really beautiful. It really is. To realize that I had that ability was quite alarming. I'm going to say that right off the get-go, and I didn't believe it. That was a little bit crazy. I want to also say, though, that I'm an ordained minister. I have degrees in business, in divinity, metaphysics, and most recently, I got my PhD in parapsychology. So that one, I was really excited. And last week, I got the email that said, it said, this is on your thesis. And I thought, oh no, I probably failed it. I probably didn't get approved. And I opened it up and it said, congratulations. And I was like, yes. I got it. So here I am, and I'm actually proud to say that I am, a doctor of parapsychology. So yay to me. I have a great deal of study in theology, and I have a specialty in spirit release, energy healing of the human soul, the energy field, houses, land. So I guess, if you don't know what spirit release is, you might think, well, what is that? I've never heard of that. It's kind of like being a Ghostbuster a little bit. No, not really, but I don't have a proton pack or anything like that. I actually clear like land and, just for the overall well-being, just to bring our energy to a positive and loving light. And that's pretty much what it really is, to just, keep us to where we are for our highest good. I also provide spiritual insight, guidance, mentoring, especially to new people that are awakening to spirit and searching for knowledge and metaphysics. I think that is really something that I understand very well, because when I opened up, I had so many questions and I needed to know everything that there was to know. I mean, I had to understand what I had missed my whole life. I mean, I really did just kind of follow my path into a business arena, and I had businesses, but I really didn't understand anything about the metaphysical world. And for me, obviously, that's when I dived into education. Obviously, that's kind of why I did that. I had to know everything that there was to know. And here I am. So I love to be able to help other people kind of awaken, and if they have questions, I am right there. So I'm right there to support your journey as well. And if you have any, I always welcome you to come to the page, come to my Facebook page, which I believe is listed in here, but it's facebook.com, spiritual healer and medium. You'll find it with Dr. Aerin Kube, spiritual medium. I am wanting to also mention that I love oracle cards, and I love anything, obviously, that's paranormal. It's very fascinating to me. I also want to mention that I have a YouTube channel and a blog called The Channeled Spirit. Now, I haven't updated it in a while, but nonetheless, if you go to my YouTube channel, you will see that I have information about like the psychic senses, information about fears of psychics. I have information on how to open your third eye. There's a lot of different energy healing. There's even some examples of readings I've done in the past. So you can go there. And my blog, I don't have like 1.6 million followers or anything on my YouTube. So if you want to know, I'm just doing it to help you progress yourself and get some insight. I'm just there to share information about the metaphysical world. And obviously, again, I'm always here you can ask me questions. I'm huge on faith and love and God, Jesus, the angels, archangels, the ascended masters, you name it. Archangel Michael, he is our protector, and he has been with me. Well, he's probably been with me forever, but really he's been right there, right next to me on my shoulder from when I really started this journey. He has been the one going, yep, climb on in the roller coaster. You're going for a ride. It's time that you wake up and see the real picture and see where you're headed. And he has a great sense of humor. So anyone that really understands an Archangel Michael or really understands what he's like, maybe you're very spiritual yourself and you've had instances with him, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. But just trust me when I tell you that, yes, he tells it straight like it is, and he's helped me a lot with my path. I also want to say that for those of you that are trying to open up, for those of you that already speak to spirit, I encourage you to do it. I mean, we shouldn't feel weighted by the loss of our loved ones. They're rejoicing on the other side, and they're always standing beside us. They want us to know that they're not missing anything. So, you think, oh my gosh, they're missing my wedding or my daughter's birth. Just know that they're good where they are, and they want you to know that they're there and that they're seeing everything that's happening. And when you come to a medium like myself or others, you're there to seek validation of that. And that's what we're trying to give you. So the truth is, know that they're there and that you can speak to them. I always encourage my clients to speak straight out to them. They'll say, can you tell my mom this? Can you tell my dad this? Can you tell my grandma? Whatever. I say, you know what? You just did. You did. Just trust in that. They want you to be happy. Nevertheless, we're still here as mediums and we are helping you to communicate so that you get that validation. And it's wonderful. So, okay, now you're probably going blah, 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 blah. She's just sitting here chit-chatting. I have to get past that nervous part because this is live and it's international. And I wanted to make sure that I really kind of get out there and give you some info about me. But now you're probably wondering, what am I going to do? Readings, mentoring, all that, giving guidance and advice. That's coming. Not today, but I want to let you know that I will be doing that. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. Because I do mediumship, and again, I do give guidance. I don't give specifically psychic readings into the future, so you're not really going to get lottery numbers from me. Darn, if I could get them, I would get them, and but it doesn't really quite work like that for me. I really want to empower you, awaken you to your own faith and your own inner intuition. Part of our path and part of going along our path is learning forgiveness and healing. Okay. If you want to reach enlightenment and you want to awaken, part of that is really learning to listen from within, to quiet your mind and just open your heart. That's the most important thing you can do. And so that's what I like to do. I like to do what gets you closer to God, your higher self. I strive for what is in your best and your highest good. That's my ultimate hope for this show, for being here, and for moving forward. And so that's why it's an honor for me to be here, regardless of how blah, blah, blah I get. So now that I say all that, I've been thinking about how I'm going to provide the readings, all right? I thought about taking callers, but I've always been a little strange. I've always been a little different. I wanted to do something maybe just slightly different. I may take callers down the road, okay? But what I'm thinking of doing right now is having you go to my Facebook page and that I told you about, and putting your questions. You can put your questions in emails to me. Yes, I'll do my best to see if I can bring some of those questions on. I have a pinned post specifically that is for spiritual questions of a nature that is specifically spiritual, not psychic. So if you want mentorship and you want information like, the difference between a spirit guide and a higher self, that's what you want to go there for. Okay. And also I want to say that I will be doing mediumship readings, and I'm thinking right now it's going to be every other week. All right. So for that, I am going to have contests. And with the contest, generally the way I do it is through a random number generator. And the random number generator has worked in the past for me for years because it's really fair. What you'll do is you'll see the post. It'll give you the date of the show that you'll go live with me on the air. So that's important. You have to be available to go live. Now you don't have to be seen. So you don't have to worry like, oh my goodness, what do I look like? Like me, like constantly. You don't have to worry about that, but you will have to be live on the air, and it's not that scary. So not that scary, but no, really, you'll just be on the phone with me and I will give you your reading. But you'll pick a number between, I want to say I have it right now set 1 to 800. I think it's 1 to 800. You'll see it if you go right onto my Facebook page after this. And the contest for next week's mediumship reading ends, I want to say tomorrow, based on your time zone. But if you go to this after the show, then you'd be able to go put your number guess in. And then tomorrow, what I'll do is I'll go into the random number generator, and how it works is I just put in 1 to 800, and then the number comes up. So if you're 653 and 654 comes up and you're the closest, then you're going to get the call from me. You're going to be the one that I'm going to say, yep, you won. Are you ready? We can do it next week. So that's my plan for a mediumship reading. And I intend to devote the show next week to you. So it'll be a good reading. It'll be a good lengthy reading, and you'll get a full connection with your loved ones. And I'm looking forward to that. I always do. I'll also do other contests and opportunities too, but I mean, I'm still kind of working that out, but it'll be of other spiritual guidance, so if you have personal questions you want to ask me, I'll also do that too. That's absolutely in my plan. And also, I am planning to have other light workers that can share their stories. Then they can help you in your own personal journey too. Because here's the thing: we all have a special way to deliver messages, and we all have our own personal stories, and we all have, our faith is remarkable. And I love to hear others' stories and examples. And that leads me to something else I want to talk about too, because I want to talk about how some of us mediums bring our gifts to your reading, because mine is really kind of funny. Mine is really kind of interesting. And I see some of these mediums and they get, well, let me see. How can I say this? My hair is kind of crazy, but sorry. Some mediums, we have like a dictionary. It's like icons or symbols. So let's say, for instance, I don't know, some mediums might say, oh, I get a vision of a rose. And so that might mean like, I love you. And psychics, mediums, we use telepathy when we're talking to your loved one. So there's like a great deal of telepathy. I mean, yes, we see them. We can visually see them. Like some people can actually see them. I don't usually. Like for me, they could be holograms. Okay. But that's not very often. Usually they're in my third eye. And that's kind of like that imaginary area, that thing that you think, oh, I wonder if I could see something. That's me. If you close your eyes and you could still see something in the room, that'd be how I get it. Only I keep my eyes open. And hearing, it sounds like my own voice inside my head, but, sometimes I get dialect and I'll hear certain words. But, some people just know information. Sometimes I just get, boom, information that just pops into my head. And then suddenly I just know, okay, your name was Mary and she's your grandma. Okay. So that sometimes happens. Sometimes I feel things. So if somebody is really giving me a lot of energy, a lot of intense energy or illness, sometimes I can feel that energy that way. It's the clairsentience. And so they're all different psychic senses that we use when as mediums, but not all of us have the same type of same psychic abilities, the same heightened senses. We all have our own special ways of delivering our messages. So going back to that, one person might get a vision of a rose, and that rose might mean like, I love you. But for me, it's kind of funny because mine is all around entertainment and like funny story because, if I was told when I first started, well, you need to go make yourself your own dictionary. You need to go make yourself. And I was like, well, what does that mean? Well, you need to go study and say, well, this means this. And, maybe here we go. Yeah, there we go. This means something. And he's saying, this means, the unicorn might have a certain meaning to you. But what I'm trying to say is you create your own meaning to a vision, a sound. For me, it's not like that. No, it kind of developed on its own. So I have a lot of entertainment that comes through in terms of movies and music. It's crazy. I'll get celebrity lookalikes. So in other words, somebody will show me a vision of somebody like Marilyn Monroe, and I'll think, I don't understand this. I have this vision of Marilyn Monroe, and this is connected to your mother. And my client could say, oh, that's because my mom back in the day used to like to dress up like Marilyn Monroe. So that's just an example, but that's just kind of the way my abilities work. Sometimes instead of seeing a vision of a rose, I'll hear the song, The Rose. Sometimes it's lyrics that in the lyrics have specific meaning and the spirit is communicating through those lyrics, something they want me to convey to you. Sometimes it's the name of the singer, the artist that's actually, I had one that was Bob for Bob Dylan and the guy's name was Bob. So it's really interesting to bring those messages forward. I've had other instances where, funny one, and I think I shared this on my YouTube page. I had one where the lady from The Wedding Singer with Adam Sandler, the little old lady that sang the rap song, you know, the hip hop, a hippity hop. I said this to a lady. I said, I see this woman, and I know we're talking about your aunt. That looks like my aunt. Oh, you're kidding. Okay. Well, here we go. Did she sing rap music? No, she probably didn't sing rap music. But I'm just saying it was really cool because I said, really, yep. And so I realized how much of my abilities were bringing in movies and music constantly. So the only thing I can think of is, why do they communicate with me like that? Did I not make a dictionary? Maybe it's because I didn't make a dictionary and they're searching for my brain. And yeah, I can just imagine it. So I tell clients sometimes, if you will, imagine your families, and oh my goodness, sometimes I can get 10 or 12 people and it almost becomes like white noise. I mean, I can get them to, I can sometimes get them to, I'll get one person and I'll say, okay, one person at a time. I can only hand one at a time. And they'll step forward. And I always picture them like stepping forward to like a big electronic screen. And that electronic screen is like connected to my brain, right? And they're trying to say telepathy information here. So the screen might be like your airport screen, and it's touch screen. And imagine, if you will, they're sitting there and you got the uncle that's going, okay, what has she got for Vietnam War? All right, this girl did not pay attention to history. Okay, closest we get is Forrest Gump. Yeah. Okay. Well, then, I guess I'll hit the button. Suddenly I'll hear, if you're going to San Francisco. And I will hear something like Peter, Paul, and Mary, and I'll get a vision of Forrest Gump, and suddenly it's hysterical. So I can only imagine these spirits going, I wonder what else she's got in here for war. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think A Few Good Men counts. Wait a minute. I think I was in Guantanamo Bay. I think they mentioned it in there. So that's an example. It's crazy like that, but they will play these little blurps of movies, and they're like clips, and I will remember them, and I'll hear it, and it will play out in my mind like I'm getting entertained, just like the lady from The Wedding Singer, which I'm told her name is Ellen Dow. So thank you very much for that, my producer. And it's very, very cool to have it come through that way, because it makes me smile. It makes it fun. I mean, I've had one where I had a husband and a wife that they were together for, literally, it was like almost 60 years. And they, the wife had Alzheimer's, and it was very, very cool to have The Notebook come through, the movie The Notebook. It was also based on a novel. And that one had so many identifiers in there, because this couple that had crossed over, that was family to my client, they actually had, there's so many symbols that were like matching up, and it was very, very cool. So anyways, I will skip ahead because I know we're low on time, but now that you know how my abilities work, it's a lot of fun. I absolutely love it. I love to share how the readings work. So I'm letting you know that, because it's important when we're sitting here and I'm doing readings and I'm telling you, okay, have you seen that movie? Let me give you a little bit about how that works so that we can kind of figure it out together. It's very cool. I think before I just kind of finish this up, I want to let you know that I wasn't always like this. I wasn't always a psychic medium. I didn't know about this, even though I know that from birth I had it. It was kind of like on a dimmer switch. It was kind of off, and I probably saw something. I probably said, nope, not having any part of this as a kid. Nope, turn that switch down, not interested. So as I grew up, I really kind of got the ability to awaken slowly. Little triggers were happening, and I was always interested in the paranormal, but I was skeptic. I went my own way. I had my children, and I had businesses. Literally, I had ultrasound businesses, and they were a chain. And I was never really, really quite satisfied with life, even though I thought I, technically had it all. I was searching for something more. And a lot of people, when they awaken, they will have triggers. And some of those triggers can be, say, near-death experiences or death of a loved one. So for me, it was death of loved ones in my family, and 2 back-to-back, actually. And that really changed everything. Things really started to kind of manifest once I really understood what my abilities were, because that was the part I didn't understand. I always thought it was in my mind. So once I got that down, then everything was like, boom, there she goes. She was off and flying. I just had a lot of questions and I had them answered. And here I am now. So I am here with you, and I look forward to the future of the show. And I look forward to bringing on other light workers. And I want to make sure that you guys all, if you have any questions, you can come to my Facebook page. You can go to my website too, which is, I want to say it's listed here. Yep. It's aerinkube.com. You can book an appointment there if you want with me. You can book online, which is, yay, I got that back up and running. So there you go. That's pretty much a little bit about me. And if you want to participate in that contest for the mediumship reading for next week, please make sure that you go to my Facebook page and put in your number so that I can pick the winner tomorrow. All right. So that's pretty much all that really it boils down to. I want to thank all of you for being a part of the show. I want to thank all of you for listening to me ramble on and listening to my stories. If you have anything you want to share with me, please, you can message me, and I will be glad to get back with you. So I hope everyone has a lovely evening or day, wherever you are. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. And again, it's Dr. Aerin Kube, and you can reach me at aerinkube.com. That's all.